Hey, my beautiful people. I hope y'all are doing wonderful. It's Crystal. Welcome in. I'm glad you joined me again. So, I feel like somebody's in no contact. Like, we're not talking. We've gotten an argument, and I haven't heard from you. You haven't heard from this person. And you don't really know what's going on. You know, like, what is going on with this person? Like, why are they not reaching out to me? Like, let's see what the tea is, guys. I want to know, like, what is holding this person back? You know, like, what is going on? Divine timing. Okay. So maybe this is all, you know, Divine's work. You know, maybe something is going on behind the scenes that you don't know about, you know. But you feel like home to this person. Or vice versa. Maybe this person feels like home to you. You know, and this has really got you up in your head because, you know, maybe you were falling in love with this person and they's fallen in love with you and y'all have gotten in an argument, you know. And this has got you all, yeah, we got anxiety, depression coming out, maybe even some panic attacks because you don't know what's going on. Okay, what can you tell me, Spirit? What do we need to know about this situation, this no contact? What is going on with no contact? Yeah, somebody could have been lying. They've been hiding something from you and you figured it out. And now y'all are not talking. You know, this doesn't have to be lying. This could just be keeping something from you, you know, which is, you know, somebody's wearing a mask. Maybe they weren't who they say they are, you know. But there's letting go and releasing here. So maybe you need to let go and release of any expectations. You know, if you're expecting this person to call you, to text you, to apologize, like, you know, you got to think that the other person is not you. So everybody loves different. Everybody acts different. So, you know, just because it's something you would do doesn't necessarily mean it's something that they would do, right? Because I think that's where we get a lot of hurt coming in, like not just me, but I mean like other people. I think we get hurt from expectations when we expect things from other people. But it says you need to detach. Now, whenever that comes out, I feel like this is just something that maybe you're thinking about it all the time. You know, you're obsessed with it almost. Like, oh my God, have they called? Have they texted me? Maybe let me go read another tarot reading. Let me see what they're saying. Maybe they're saying that he's going to come back tomorrow, you know, and you just need to chill. You need to calm down, you know, and I know that that's really hard when you're going through it. You know, I've been through it a couple of times and it's hard when you don't hear from somebody that you want to hear from, you know, when you're not working things out from the one person you want to work it out from, you know. But when you let it go, when you detach, usually that's when something will you know, it releases the tension between y'all, and it actually pulls on the string of the other person, and they're like, well, wait a minute, where are they going? It's like they can feel it energetically. You know what I'm saying? That you're not over here obsessed with it anymore. But I do feel like there's an apology coming in. If you haven't heard from an apology from this person, I feel like it's coming. This is just a matter of time, you know, because this is divine timing we're talking about. So sometimes like breakups and no contact is the best way to really find out how you feel. The both of y'all, you know, like you feel it out and they feel it out. And sometimes it's like, man, I really love that person and I didn't even know how much till I wasn't talking to them every day, or, you know, until they weren't around me every day talking to me. You know, sometimes the absence, you know, really does make you feel what you feel for that other person. But I do think that there's an apology coming in. And right now, you know, y'all could feel like there's some distance there, like let's say emotional distance, you know, maybe even physical distance. Like y'all are not just right there together right now. you know, and there is distance here. But let me see. We got reconciliation and a second chance coming in. You know, there's a reunion here. And this card also says that they're missing you. So I do feel like if you can let it go and detach a little bit and not be so obsessed with the outcome, okay? Like it gives room, you know, like I said, like look at relationships that y'all are on a string, right? You're on one end and they're on the other, elastic band. And whenever you're over here thinking and obsessing and wondering and wishing and hoping and you're just constantly obsessed with it, you're pulling that band right from them. But when you quit, it quits pulling. So then they're like, well, wait a minute here. This person's not pulling on my band anymore. So then they start wondering, oh my God, like what's wrong with you? You're not, I don't feel you anymore pulling on my energy. So that's what happens when you detach. It's almost like a boomerang. They come back at you, you know, wanting to know what's going on and wanting to work things out. So if you feel yourself just super attached and clingy, you know, almost. I mean, you're not clingy because they're not right there, but you're clinging on their energy when you're constantly looking and lurking and tarot reading, watching a lot of tarot about one person that's spying, that's looking, it's lurking, it's pulling on that energy. So try to just center yourself and think about yourself. What do you need to do every day? You know, pour back into yourself. Like, you know, how do you feel right here in this moment? Now, what would you do to make yourself feel better? Like, what could you do? Go for a walk, watch a movie, talk to a friend, go visit a friend. You know, if it's terrible to sit at home, then yeah, go visit somebody, you know, like get out of the house. It's springtime here, so you know, we don't feel like we have to stay in all the time now. So I went for a walk yesterday and it was awesome. But yeah, like you or this person has just a lot of overthinking going on right now. And I think that if you could center yourself and try to calm down, you'll realize that a whole lot of what you're thinking and, you know, all the stuff that's going through your head is self-imposed. You know, it's not even real. Like some of the stuff that you're thinking is just you working yourself up, you know? So let's see here. So we got an apology coming in, guys. And I think that you already know this. Like you have this gut feeling, you know, your intuition is telling you these things. Like I feel like I'm talking to somebody that already knows this, but this is just double confirmation, you know, that you needed to hear, you know, because sometimes, like, especially with me, I think things in my head and I let them get out of control. But then whenever I come across the reading or just come across something, you know, and it's speaking to what I'm already feeling, but I've not had any confirmation on it. So I think this is confirmation. Like, you know, your gut feeling knows. You already know this, that if you would just back off and calm down, try to release some of it. I'm not saying completely, but just release a little bit of that anxiety of like, when am I going to talk to them? When am I going to see them? What, you know, have they called me? Have they texted me? Like, center yourself back in your reality. You know what I mean? Like, bring all that energy back into you and figure out what you need to do every day to move forward and feel better. Then it's going to bring in this second chance, this apology, you know, this reunion. And then y'all can figure out where to go from there. Because if you really meant to reconcile and be together and move forward, then you have to work through the issues that you had, right? So, all right, guys, I really do love this, even though, yeah, we've got new opportunity coming and hope and healing is on the bottom of the deck. So I do feel like this situation is going to work itself out, and it's going to bring in some type of healing that maybe both of y'all need, you know? So like I said before, sometimes breakups need to happen. It actually helps relationships grow stronger because you get your feelings out there and you can communicate where maybe you wasn't communicating, maybe this wasn't going on. So this helps bring it all in. It's like it brings it to a head, almost like a tower moment, but it's something that has to happen. You know what I mean? Like, and then everything can fall into place. So I hope that this helps, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to see more. And leave me a comment. I'd love to talk to you and even help you manifest what you would like to come, you know, manifest this coming in faster. But anyway, until next time, guys, thank you for being here. Bye.